Hello, hello,
Oh,
hello. Happy Friday.
hello, Ryan
Yeah,
Boyles.
yeah.
Man, I haven't seen you in years.
It has been
Where have you
years.
been, dude? I know you were on tour with the
Right.
Avett brothers or whatever it is. I know because you're their tour manager, so you were out there for months at a time.
Correct,
I
correct.
know you were on vacation on your private island for I think it was 6 months. Boy, this
Yeah,
is
well,
it is great to see you again,
it
dude.
was good. I had to get rested up, get ready for 2022.
You
Yeah, buddy.
indeed, but it is good to see you, and for all the weeksenders, the tens of you that actually see this broadcast, we haven't been around in a while. We tried Twitter Spaces, that was a fucking train wreck. We've tried, we we've just been busy with work and life and holidays and you know
It was fun, but
whatever.
I
But
think we
here we
just
are.
proved. I think we just proved with Twitter Spaces that we had like two people that listened. So
We do we yes. So anyway, here we are,
yeah,
and
yeah, baby.
let's get let's on with the show.
Number 72. All right, let's get
Yes,
underway.
number
All right,
72.
so
Wow, 72 shows.
I've got to show
Damn.
you something. I got to show you something here.
We haven't even gotten a single Oscar or Emmy or Tony or.
There is some news that I thought not quite sure what to make of it here, but I saw
Oh
this
God,
tweet
I'm gonna cry.
and I was like, "Good Lord!" Like we've been talking about International Space Station, all the cool things they're doing, and then they're like, "Okay, we're pulling the plug roughly a decade from
I
now."
know, but you know what, dude? This thing, like, let's talk. First of all, let's consider the fact. I, there's actually a few angles I want to take to this. So first of all, it's going to be such a big deal when this thing comes down. Because what I'm hoping is they like embed cameras inside it that I
Oh
don't know
yeah,
if they'll be able to kind of continue to broadcast as it starts to go down, but I don't know if they're going to break it into pieces or they're just going to be like tank it like all at once. But
yeah.
what an amazing platform. This thing started being built when we were what, like kids or,
Oh yeah.
I don't know,
Well, it's
teenagers
interesting because
maybe.
they
I don't
took
even
up,
remember when it started. I feel like
it.
it's been around my whole
Do you
life.
remember learning about Skylab in school? Right, like that
Of
was a big
course.
thing when I was in school when I was really really young.
My
And
God, you
they
are old.
talked about they
Yeah.
bring up one module, then you bring up another one, you add it on, then another one,
Yeah.
then another one, and it's kind of
Yeah.
like a Lego set in space almost.
Yeah.
Except it has people in it doing really
Here's the
cool
point
stuff.
about it deorbiting in 2030. First of all, I think it's outlived its original plan for its life. It's been this amazing platform for science and technology. There's been huge discoveries made. There's been lots of great work going on with different countries cooperating. But here's the most important point: if they're not going to deorbit until 2030, brother, I'm here to tell you there's still a chance we could go. I'm just putting it out there.
What?
I'm putting it
You know
out
what?
there.
I
Weeks
didn't think of
end
it that way, but
on the
maybe we
ISS,
could
baby.
be a part of the final crew. Maybe that I don't know. Maybe we could take a tour.
All right, hold on. If we're gonna do that, we got to practice. So here we go. You ready? Here we go. Ryan, this is Mission Control. We're going to need you to go ahead and activate Tequila System 272. You guys should start drinking. I
I
think
need to
I
work
think
on
that
my
qualifies us right there.
I need to work on my spacewalk skills. I've mastered the moonwalk. I now need to master the spacewalk.
I think that proves it.
All right. Well, let's get into one more thing here that I know is near and dear to your heart, but I'm going to take some issues with it. This is going to be a bit of a debate today, and that is that there's it's winter, and every few years around the winter time, we have these people that get together and try daring and amazing feats for medals.
Yes.
Called the
Yeah.
Olympics, folks.
Although
It's
this
been
year they're
going on
actually
for a
getting
while.
pandas with weird golden.
I was noticing that, and
Yeah.
it's kind of a craze because you see people collecting like the collectible version
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
And then I saw a medal ceremony, and I was like, "What is happening?
Yeah.
Are they trading Pokemons at during a medal ceremony?"
No. You got to catch them all. No. So what it is so first of all, I'm an Olympics super fan. I'm obsessed with the Olympics, which is weird because I'm not like a sportsing fellow. I don't do basketball, baseball, hockey.
Right.
What are some other sports? Football, golf. I don't even know. Doesn't matter. Curling. I like that. But I'm an Olympic super fan. Summer, winter, whatever. Although, full disclosure, I prefer the Winter Olympics.
You prefer the winter? Okay.
So what they're doing this year is when the athletes win the actual event at the event, they get the panda, which I think there's something inside it. I forget. My original thought was like, is the metal inside the panda? Like, is this like a COVID thing? So, and then later they have what's called a victory ceremony, and they actually get their medals where
Okay.
they do all the anthems and all that. So honestly, it is pretty cool. They are super collectible. They are very sought after. And oh, hold on, we're getting a call on the hotline.
What's happening?
Hold on. Hey, thanks for calling Week's End. This is Graham. How can I? Oh my God, Ryan, it's super fan Gary. Gary, how you doing, buddy? You're in Beijing? You're at the Olympics? You're competing? Oh my God, did you know, Ryan? Did you know he was there?
Look, it didn't reach my inbox.
This is amazing. Well, what are you competing in? Oh, I didn't know mixed doubles shoveling was a thing. Oh, and snowblowing. That's amazing. Look, Gary, we're in the middle of a show, so I gotta go.
They have added a lot of interesting new sports to the games. I didn't know about show snuffling.
I didn't know that was a thing either.
That's not something we really can practice down here in the South, if you know what I mean.
No, because you guys are losers. But
let's
anyway,
talk about this photo for a minute. I mean, there's been a few photos like this. There was one where they panned way back and showed like a whole dystopian nightmare kind of situation.
Actually.
And I'm just like, in the tweet I think that went viral with that photo was like, what are we even doing here, folks? You know, like it's kind of bizarre how they build these facilities. This one apparently on the grounds of a nuclear, I guess.
Look, I don't know what that is. I mean, yeah, it's some sort of cooling tower. I don't know if it's nuclear or what. I don't know what it is.
There might be terraforming, right?
A lot of people were complaining about this. Here's the reason I like it. First of all, as you know, with any Olympics, the venues are all over the place. Some of them are gathered in an area and there's like an Olympic village and they do certain things with stadiums and stuff like that. Some of them are, you know, especially with the Winter Olympics, they're like way out where there are ski hills or mountains, things like Super G and you know, the half pipe, all that stuff is off at these mountains. I don't know how far away it is. China's very big. But the reason I like the ski jump positioned in the middle of sort of this, you know, urban dystopian nuclear reactor kind of look is that it looks like a city. Like, not only that, it looks like an actual city. Like, it's not all prettied up and made to just look like it's almost like the people of the world are gathered in the places that the world looks like. I'm not going into the whole political structure of China. I know that's a train wreck. I got that. But the thing is I actually think it creates a really cool kind of dichotomy of imagery. And so I like it. It doesn't seem to bother the Olympians or the athletes. And they're doing some amazing jumps, and the photographs where it's like they're up in the air and they're twisted and they're doing all their ski jumps and everything. And the background is this, you know, cooling tower is pretty cool. So anyway,
all right, before we end this segment, I want to do a shout out for my favorite Olympian that's been competing this week, or, you know, since the games have started, and I know you have one as well. So I'm going to go first with I want to give a shout out to Shaun White. So, snowboarder, excellent dude. He really caught my wife and I in all the feels when apparently his family sent him handwritten notes to open and read, you know, in the final moments, you know, of this is his final Olympics. He's retiring. And
I watched his final run last night.
It was so awesome.
He got that second run in, which was really fantastic, and he looked great. Didn't complete the third one, but it doesn't matter. He's a legend. He's 35 years old, still competing. And I just thought he was remarkable. I really did.
Yes, sir.
So obviously I would also give a shout out to Shaun White. I mean, I am a snowboarder. Certainly not anywhere near as good as Shaun, but I'm pretty good. But there's a lot of different people. I think, Jesse Diggins from the United States in cross country is awesome. Okay. Nathan Chen, figure skating. Look, dude, I love figure skating. I have no problem saying that. I love it. Nathan Chen is amazing. But last night, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce the name. Not even sure I remember the name. I would know it if I saw it. But last night in that event with Shaun White, there was a young Japanese snowboarder. And this guy at one point goes down, and I thought it was really funny because the commentators say, clear the airspace over the half pipe and turn all the cameras up to the sky. And I was like, what? And this kid goes down, dude, and he goes off the half pipe and he goes 24 feet into the air off the top of the half pipe. So he's like 48 feet in the air total from the bottom of the half pipe. And he like stops in midair and is turning. I mean, it was like against physics.
That's like anime. That's anime in real life.
Yes, it was absolutely remarkable, and I couldn't get enough of it. So it was yeah. I mean, I can find out the name and certainly tweet it as part of the show notes. But it was wow. It was
Wow.
amazing,
Wow
dude.
is right. All right, Olympics are awesome. Keep watching them, folks. Let's talk about what might be a controversial topic. I wasn't expecting it to be, but
Yeah.
the Disney Plus series, it's a Star Wars show called The Book of Boba Fett. We haven't talked about it on this show yet. We were, I think, anxiously looking forward to it back when
Book of
season
Boba.
2 of The Mandalorian ended, of course, last fall. But The Book of Boba has come out and already concluded with 6, what is it? What was it, 5 episodes?
7.
7?
Wasn't it 7? I thought it was
I don't
7.
think so.
5? It wasn't 5.
6, 7,
It was
7.
7.
7.
It was 7.
You're right. Lucky number 7. So 7 episodes, which is a bit shorter than the Mandalorian series and some of the other Marvel series have been, but I don't know, man. I got a lot of thoughts, and I didn't like it all. I didn't like a lot of it, and I just here's my take. It felt very disjoint, and from episode to episode, there was just some really questionable Star Wars stuff in general, and the ending was not very satisfying to me. So I'm going to leave it at that, and we can talk about some parts. But what was your impression of the show?
Loved it when it first started.
Yeah.
Struggled a bit with the Voltron Power Ranger biker gang.
Right. The mods.
Then I started to realize Star Wars can be whatever Star Wars wants to be. It's not up to me. And I hate to tell you this, brother.
Okay, here we go.
But it's not up to you either.
It's not mine either.
And it's not up to you either. And I started to realize that because everyone's complaining like, oh, Boba's not tough enough. Well, you know what? I don't need every male character to be Johnny Kick-Ass, right? So the thing I like about Boba is he sort of cares about his friends, cares about his community. He like heals in his old man healing tank. He's like, loves animals. Like this is a cool guy. And then mixing the Mando and everyone's like, oh, it's Mando season 3. No, it's not. It's not. It's the Star Wars universe. Yeah. Just shut your nerdy little mouths and enjoy what you're getting. Right. So the thing I liked about the Mando is like they should come together. I mean, look at that face. You don't love that face. So, and then the thing is with the Mando is he is tough, but he's also this like super space dad who cares about the fact that his, baby Yoda has a shirt that he made him. I mean, like that's fantastic. And
maybe
then
it was just unexpected. Go ahead. Sorry.
And it could have been unexpected. And I can understand that because it goes against the grain of what we think we should get. But then if we get what we think we should get, we're just getting recycled shit all over, and we complain about that too. Yeah. So the other thing was I thought the Rancor, spoilers, folks, spoiler warning. Yep. I thought the Rancor at the end was epic. I love it, especially when it like ripped the arm off that droid and just stabbed it with its own gun. That was the point where I was just like, yeah, man. So loved it at first, struggled with it a little bit, but then came to peace with it and the fact that like Star Wars can be whatever it wants to be. And we've talked about this before. Remember a buddy of mine, we talked about Star Trek and the fact that it's like always Kirk, it's always Spock, it's always Enterprise, it's always the same stuff, right? I understand DS9, Voyager, like I get it, but there's this notion of things always repeating, but like it's a big Starfleet. Give us different ships, give us different stuff. And so when I look at Star Wars, it's the same thing. I don't always need to see Skywalkers. I understand he was in Boba. That was amazing. I don't always need to see Millennium Falcon. I don't always need to see sort of the same elements. I'm happy to have elements mixed in for that nostalgia feeling, which just shoot it straight into my veins and I'll take it. But I also like the idea that they sort of mix it up with new stuff and, show us a side of this universe that like we haven't seen before. So that's where I came to terms with the fact that there would be teenagers and they probably would have colorful Power Ranger bikes and
hey, if you have the means to get a colorful speeder bike on Tatooine, you probably should take it, right?
You probably should. I
So
would.
it's not even a strange flex, I guess, in
Look,
that context, right?
look, everybody talks when you think of a lightsaber, you think of like a color, a certain color blade, and it's always silver or
Yeah,
black. Look at this. This
I know,
is
I know.
not your
Okay,
normal,
okay, okay. I'm starting to think about this differently. So I have a couple questions.
right?
I still, so I'm just trying to verify some things here. So we have the
Okay.
whole interlude
Mm-hmm.
where our friend, we go
Mm-hmm.
and we see Mr. Grogu hanging out with Ahsoka and Luke Skywalker. Apparently, I think they're building the Jedi school that Luke then
Yes.
uses to
Yes.
restart the Jedi Order, essentially. And we already
Yes.
know how that ends, but we see that it's kind of we're like, what's happening here? Mandalorian shows up. He's trying to check in. He wants to give him a gift,
Mm-hmm.
and then spoiler alert: the little guy's given a choice.
Yeah.
He's like, "Do you want the easy way or the hard way? Do you want attachment or light?" My tweet here was, "Do you want armor or lightsaber, attachment or enlightenment, frogs or the Force, tacos or pizza?" So apparently, I guess the obvious choice would have been him to choose the lightsaber and choose the Force and go down the path, but that would have been maybe expected and boring, and I guess that's not what he chose because he shows
Want
back
to know
up.
why? Want to know why?
You know?
I'm gonna boil this down. It's gonna be very
All right,
simple.
do it.
Love is more powerful than the Force,
Okay.
and this boy loves his space daddy. And
Yeah.
that sounded really creepy. I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't mean it that way. But the point is that I think that his relationship there is really important. But it harkens back to the whole notion of somebody said it today. Somebody made Vader made the wrong choice.
Yeah.
And so did he make the right choice or did Grogu make the right choice? So I guess we'll have to see season 8, right?
I
But
think
see,
you're
now you're
right.
proving my point that you do love this show and that
I know.
Star Wars
I
can
do.
be whatever
Well,
it wants
look,
to be.
those were awesome. All of that was awesome because I was like, it harkens back to the parallels with him training with Luke. It harkened right back to Empire Strikes Back, which I love. All of those things, but then he's going to take a different path to make it, I guess, interesting. And guess what? There probably wouldn't be a Mandalorian season 3 without him choosing a different path or something, right? Because he's not just going to
Yeah.
go. Otherwise,
Yeah.
he's just
I'm all
stuck on
for
that
this
planet with
blending of the
Luke.
shows. Like I'm all for it.
I'm for that
we don't-
too. I'm for that
like
too.
it's a crossover. Like I'm cool with that. Yes, it was weird that they went sort of so deep on the Mandalorian in the middle of Boba, but like if they did, how do you just bust out the dark saber without? I don't know. Now we're
And
nerding
you
out.
know what
Anyway,
it is? One
I
of the
like
other
it.
things that I'll say here is like as deep as you and I are like into the details and the
Yeah.
timelines and the mythology and everything. There are other super fans who aren't as deep. Like I had to have a whole conversation with the couple that we were traveling with on our on my sabbatical to the island with the band and all that. They had to call me last night and like ask me like, is this before Return of the like where's Jabba? Like did he like they were totally confused by the whole series.
Jeff Bezos, is that who called you? Because I know that's who
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
on.
yeah. That was it.
Yeah.
But totally confused and
Jeff
it
Bezos.
requires a little bit of effort to decode this stuff and
It
figure out
does.
why
Like
it's
I didn't
happening
know
this
who
way.
Cad Bane was because I didn't
Oh,
watch the
right.
Clone
No,
Wars.
Cad
Man,
Bane, that was
what a
number 1.
character,
When I
man.
saw that happen, I was like, "Oh, crap. This is going in.
Yes.
This is awesome."
Yeah, man.
And the fact that so I didn't even watch all of Clone Wars, but I know enough to know that, like, Cad Bane and Boba had, like, this, rivalry, and that plays out in a really interesting way in this series. So there is some nice ways that this tied things up, and I'll just say this: I think a lot of people just weren't mentally prepared for like old dad bod Boba being a dad because he became like a father figure too to the kids and to the
Of course he
he's
did.
got his partner
And
and all
so
that
why
stuff.
not?
Yeah,
He said he was going to rule by compassion or whatever it was. I mean, like, dude, that. Yes, cool. We
right.
need more of that. Great.
Yep, you're right. Okay, you've won me over. Book of Boba Fett.
Yes.
I need to watch it again. All right, let's switch gears. Let's talk about Star Trek.
All right. This is very quick, and I think you got a poster to show. So, look, any Trek, new Trek, I'll take Trek. I love Trek. I like it. What's interesting here is it made me think when you show the posters, it made me think of it looks like a Western almost, right? Guy on a
Yes,
horse or
it
whatever
does.
type of beast that is.
Yep.
Oh, look at that starship though. Whew. The frontier is waiting again, very this Western feel. So
Yeah.
it's really interesting to me that Mando, Book of Boba, Strange New Worlds, and clearly
Yes.
we're going to talk about Kenobi, all have this kind of like Western theme to them,
Yeah.
and I find that to be really interesting.
Yeah. I do too.
So I'm curious to see if sort of like where that trend is coming from, and why that's happening. So I like it because I do believe this notion of sort of these outer worlds being kind of these rough civilizations. So I like that. So again, I just wanted to point out Strange New Worlds. I don't know anything about it yet.
Well, here's
Let's
what
see
I
these
said.
trailers.
Here's what I said. It
Yes,
almost seems like dystopian
yes,
desert planets, with
you
bright
got it.
sun and all that is the new cyberpunk.
You
You
got
know
it.
what I mean? Like,
That's
so
exactly right.
we had this whole era of like cyberpunk being rainy at night with neon, just like Blade
Yeah,
Runner or whatever, and that's
yeah.
played out. So now everything's about the sandy desert and
I'm all
the
for it.
bleak, whatever, sand blasted. We had Dune. I mean, we talked about Dune. Everything is like does seem to be gravitating weirdly in that direction with all these different series.
Oh yeah, Dune. Oh yeah, right. There's another desert planet. So anyway, uh, cool. I like it. Give me more of that because that right now I'm cool with that being the trend because that's working.
All right. Well, let's talk about we're hitting all of our fan favorites here today, folks. Now we're going to talk about how we love Star Wars, we love Star Trek, we love these things, we love Marvel. We need some Tron in our lives. Why do we need
We
Tron
do
in our lives, though, Graham? Tell me.
because it's so different and it's so in the Gen Xers love this stuff, man. What a great movie, right? I mean, and certainly Tron and Tron Legacy was awesome. We were promised another one, hasn't happened yet. So my thought was, give us a series. If
Yeah,
you
yeah,
remember, at one point, Dumont, the tower guard, talks about when the grid was a free system. Like I want to see before Kevin Flynn got involved, right? I want to see
right.
when Tron was first created. I want to see how the MCP came to power. I want to see how Sark came to be who he is.
You want to
I
see some
want,
hardcore programming?
yeah,
Okay,
man. I,
yeah,
I want to see what it looked like. I want to see sort of like what it looked like before, and then how. And here's the trick: if they're going to do this, they got to make it look just like the original, right? Because there's a reason why Legacy looks so different, and I was cool with that. But it would be great to have a retro series that is far more of a prequel. So I think if you go back over there, I think my original idea was to call it Group Seven after Group
Oh,
Seven Access. Reindeer Flotilla would
here
be
we go.
another good title.
I like it.
There's lots of titles that could go out there. So anyway, I'd love to
Show
see.
us the grid. I
Yeah,
just I like that idea of
Tron
like
prequel.
prequels. This one, if anything, deserves that treatment.
Yeah, I want to see Alan Bradley writing Tron and just use the Luke de-aging stuff.
Well, I will tell you, the Luke de-aging stuff in Boba Fett. Holy crap!
Boba Fett.
Even better, even better. Well, I'm saying even better than when we saw it at the end of whatever Mandalorian. It like I didn't know they could pull it off like that. It was good.
All right, we got 6 minutes because I
We
got
got
a I
six
got a
minutes.
I got a meeting. I have
All right.
more meetings today.
All right, stop it with the meetings. We've got some sci-fi art coming your way, folks. Tell
Yeah,
us
look at
why
this.
this is awesome. Look at this. Holy
Look
crap.
at this. So first of all, follow Sam and the at Sam and the King on Twitter. Okay, this individual's art is amazing, but this one in particular really jumped out at me. So when I looked at this one, and I know there's kind of a side story here, but I looked at this and I thought, I want to see a whole animated series in this style. Right. I mean,
Yes.
I absolutely love this. I love the backstory this individual has written. I love the art. I love featuring these artists that I come across. And this is one of them. Look at all the ships in orbit. Look at the way these things look. Look at the fact that it's got this like almost Soviet Meg look to it. Anyway, I saw this and I just couldn't get enough of it. And I wanted to share it with you and with all the Weeks Enders. Follow at Sam and the King. Great art coming out from this individual. Sorry, I'm saying individual. I don't know the pronouns. I want to make sure I'm careful on that. But I just really loved this art and I wanted to share
They
it with
are
you.
awesome. No, I love this because it reminds me of I was like a paper aircraft artist when I was, I don't know, like 6th grade or something. And I
Sure.
used to create these ships that, man, it just takes me back there. Really awesome stuff.
All right. We get it, hipster. You were cool before the Twitter
Yeah, I was
art.
cool, man. I was cool back before the socials. All right, the last story here is we want to know, folks, how to eat a sandwich. So we've seen this graphic before of like, do you start on the edges? Do you start in the middle?
No.
Do you cut it in half? Do you start like traditional in the middle of this,
I don't
the
even
cutting
understand
panel?
number 3. Like, what are you coming at the sides? Like, what am I
Yeah,
doing?
I think you're eating it like hot dog style. You're starting from the end of the bun.
I guess
Yeah.
so.
I don't know.
I
But
guess so.
what is your preference here? Do you like I don't the one I don't understand is number 2. Does that
I don't
imply that you're
understand number
eating it
2.
as a layer cake or something? That makes sense.
I with a fork and knife, I guess. Look, the answer here is obvious because there's
Yeah.
only one answer. The answer is
Okay.
4 because I'm a normal human. So I don't know. I mean, I can kind of justify number 1. Like, sometimes you get like a messy burger or
I
a
don't
messy
know,
sandwich.
man.
You kind of have to turn it as you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Maybe
Then
it
I
is
can
the type of sandwich, but I can remember, you make a grilled cheese sandwich, you cut it diagonally. So this is like a straight cut. I would cut that diagonally and I would eat it like number 3 from the end. I don't know. One-handed.
All right, hold on a minute. I got to
We'll
make
see.
a note that you
We'll
just
see.
went down 2
Yep.
levels in my
Yep.
cool.
Take away my cool points.
Taking away 2 cool points. So minus
2
2
cool points taken away.
for the RAB.
Yep.
2 cool
All right,
points gone.
folks.
That's it. You don't get it back.
You know what? That's our show. That's
That is our
week's
show.
end number 72. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
We'll be back next Friday, as always, talking about
I hope so.
completely useless nerd knowledge and geek trivia.
By the way, did you like the Real Genius shirt?
Oh man, I do love it.
It's a deep cut right there. I don't know if anybody
That is a
was
super
watching.
deep cut, and I enjoyed kind of watching it. We both watched it over the holiday break to kind of get some nostalgia feels, and
Love that movie.
I think that's another series waiting to happen.
It is. It totally is. All right, man. Good to see you. Good to be back on the show. We'll do a freeze frame here in a second, and we'll share this on the Twitters. Thanks, everybody. Good to see you.
Peace out, folks.
Yeah.